Welcome to the Blonde Highlight Show. Give it up for your hosts, Chris Yo and Kyle Hennessy.
Welcome to Blonde Highlights.
Today we have a very special guest. She has been a fan favorite for us. She is Laura from Love is Blind Season 6. Hi.
Hi, guys. I'm so excited to be here. It's going to be so much fun.
We are so excited to chat with you. Today we're going to be going over the casting process, some moments of the pods, but also mostly just how she has grown, flourished since the show, and she is going to be answering your dating questions. And when we say, like, we all know she is mother, she is confident, she is bold. So we got a lot to unpack today. So get ready, ladies. Let's go.
What's hot?
Yeah, what's hot?
For today on What's Hot, is there anything that you're really into right now? Any shows or like any beauty products or trends or anything?
I would say, there's so many beauty products, but I can't even think of a specific one right now because Tell Me Lies, the TV show, is all consuming at the moment.
Okay, I've heard this. How many seasons is this?
I think this is season 3, and it just evokes every single emotion, mostly just anger. But I think the main character's name is Steven DeMarco or something, and he just, oh my God, you don't think you could hate him anymore, but he surprises you every season.
Is it one of those things where you like hate him, but like secretly love him? Or is it just like, no, like it's pure hate?
Just hate.
Oh,
Just one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could do a good hate watch. I love a good hate watch.
Yeah, it's a sexy show. Like, they throw, just when you're filled with enough hate, they throw in a really juicy sex scene. So you're like, oh, okay, I'll keep watching. But
it's like a real toxic relationship. They give you all the bad and then they throw in just enough to keep you there and keep you reeled in.
yeah,
I need to get on it. Yeah.
I need to watch that. I've been so bad lately about keeping up on shows. And sometimes I find myself like looking it up on like social media and then getting little like highlights of something and then not going back and watching the show.
No, you have to watch it. Tell Me Lies. Trust me. I'm probably giving it a bad rap, but it's so addicting. But it's really good. You got to watch it.
I think your next watch needs to be Heated Rivalry.
I'm 100%. 100,000.
It needs to happen. Like anyone who hasn't seen it needs to watch it. I'm so addicted to it. It's consumed my like every waking moment. It's disgusting. I didn't realize how much I watch TV until we started this podcast. And then like every episode, I'm like, oh my God, I just binged this. And I'm like, I need a new hobby or something productive to do because it's like how I have my downtime. I just like, I'll throw in a show, I escape, that's it. But
yeah,
that's how I am with any Real Housewives or like Southern Charm or anything like that. It's like a bunch of people just yelling at each other that I have nothing to do with. My boyfriend will walk in and he's like, how is this relaxing to you? I'm like, it's just my
you're like,
yeah,
don't get it.
I always joke that like I speak in Real Housewives. Like I speak in the quotes.
And it's sad because I don't always understand it. And like, I know that she's pulling like the best kind of quote and I'm just like, I don't get it.
She'll be telling a story and she's like, yeah, and I made it so nice. And I'm like, yeah, I made it nice.
Yes.
So speaking of shows, can you walk us through a little bit of the casting process that you went through for Love is Blind?
Yes. It was. I don't think people realize how intense it was. I'm assuming that's how it is now, but back in my day for my season, I applied and the whole casting process probably took 4-ish months.
Oh, wow.
And it's intense. You have to go through a ton of interviews. You do a phone call first, and then you do a ton of video interviews. And then when you make it to a certain point, you meet with a psychologist.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended up having to meet with my therapist. And it was this whole thing. So it very much feels for the last month before you're officially casted that you're going through the most intense matchmaking process you could imagine. To where I've told them, I'm like, you guys need to do this aside from the show because they really just dig in deep and find out as much as they can about every single relationship you've had, why they didn't work out, which role you might have played, what you're looking for. It gets really intense, which I think is part of the reason why once you're casted, and then once you go on the show, you're like, my husband's there. They went through the same process that I went through. So there's no way, like, I have matches there, like the love of my life is there. So you're convinced.
Oh my God. I didn't know that they did like, yeah, that's in depth. That's very vulnerable too, to really just like let them in on everything. But I would be the same. I would be like, well, clearly he's here. Like if they've gone through this, he's got to be here.
Hindsight 2020. Yeah, not terrible mindset for me to have, but I was in it. I mean, I was convinced that my husband was there, but the casting process was intense, but fun.
Okay.
How far in advance did you know that you were going to be on before you went on?
Not much time before I left, maybe a week.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I traveled a lot for work at the time. So when I got back from a business trip on maybe Thursday and had to get on a plane on Friday or Saturday, it was a quick turnaround. I was ordering random shit off every random fast food.
Yes.
My outfits are not giving, but it was due to the short notice.
You know what though? Sometimes you just got to make it work. Like I came here through a snowstorm and like I was traveling from work and didn't have time to go home.
Yeah.
None of my new outfits made it. Like I'm just whipping together anything that I can find, but you make it work.
Yes, that's always how it happens. You get the delivery notification like as your plane's taking off.
Yeah. You're like, thanks guys. Yeah.
Well, also you came from like a blizzard into like 80-degree weather in LA.
I know. Oh my God. I can't go there mentally.
Where were you coming from?
So I'm in Toronto, but I was working. So I was working in Winnipeg, and then I was supposed to fly from Winnipeg to Toronto, have a night at home, and then come. But because of the storms, I barely made it here. So I just had like a couple little like work outfits that are just like, you know, model off duty, showing up to set looks, like trackies and stuff. And so we had nothing in the bag. But whatever.
Not LA, plenty of shopping options. So.
Yes. We've been around. So in the pods, was there anything that stood out to you as like, you know, something that you really enjoyed, something you didn't enjoy? Like what were the pods really like for you?
I love the pods. Okay. I have read so much craziness from other people. They're like, the pods is emotional turmoil and all that. I'm like, I loved it. I don't shut the fuck up. I mean, I'm a yacker.
Love it.
The fact that I was just put in a room and just told to talk all day. Literally was my dream. No, it was really fun. I mean, the lounge was fun. You can't see the cameras. You can't see the cameras in the pods or in the lounge, which I think is really interesting. And it's not until you kind of graduate once you, I guess, if you get engaged, and then if you get picked to go on vacation, that you see the cameramen. So it was very comfortable. It was very vibey. Yeah, I loved pod dating.
See, I feel like that would make me nervous because I'd be like, I don't know what angle they're getting. I don't know where to look, you know, like I feel like that would stress me out a little bit. I'm like, I need to see like at least one lens.
Honestly, I was kind of a diva because I look like Shrek from this side, but I look kind of decent from this side. So I made sure at all points in time that I knew where I thought the camera were.
Yes. I love that.
That makes sense though, because you'd be looking straight into the lens or like getting like a weird angle.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're pulling up good side only.
So kind of like one thing I've always been curious about with people going on like shows like this is once it airs and everything, how does that affect your work?
That's a great question. Most people quit their jobs. I'll be frank with you. I did not. I recently quit my job several years after the fact with, you know, things going on that had absolutely nothing to do with the show. But I will say it's very weird. So when we were filming, I was in management and a sales role for a software company at the time. And I had like 10 or 11 employees. And so they're like, oh, don't you want to talk about sex and talk about dicks and talk about this? And I was like, you guys, I have employees. Like, how am I going to go back to work talking about, and I'm very crass. I'm very just an open book. So I'm happy to talk about all that stuff, but I just had it lingering in the back of my head. And I'm so happy I did, because when I got back to work, you obviously can't say anything for a very long time. And I was just having these one-on-ones with my employees. And I was just like, thank God I didn't go act a damn donkey on television. I still said some shit that I wish I hadn't have said. I still did some shit that I wish I hadn't have done, but it could have been so much worse. And when it aired, I was in a new role. So I'd started at a new company maybe 2 or 3 months before it aired. So I had to have a very awkward conversation with my boss and be like, hey, have you ever heard of this show called Love is Blind? Why we're the biggest fans. I was like, great, because the new season that comes out, you're going to see me on it. Thank God he was very cool. The company was very cool about it. But, and I wasn't managing at the time. I was just a sole contributor. So weird. It's weird with work for sure, especially when, I mean, before I just quit, I was in events. And so I was traveling all over the world and putting on these big conferences. And I would be in Barcelona or London or somewhere just very far away from home. And a group of people would come up and they'd be like, oh my God, we know who you are. And I'm like, bye. Yeah. But like this international. So all my favorite Bravo shows are really, just to the US, where Netflix is totally different. So it added a new layer of weirdness to it for sure, but it wasn't bad.
I love that you had to have that conversation. It reminds me in like a weird way of when people who start a job and they're like, hey, just so you know, like, I'm pregnant, or like, hey, just so you know, I've got this like really big vacation plan. You're like, hey, just so you know, like, I'm going to blow up in a little bit and like my story's coming out and I haven't seen it, but like, let's do this. Put the trust in me, please.
What's giving? Hey, I'm pregnant. You just hired me, but I'm pregnant.
Yes.
We're going to have to deal with this for the next 6 to 9 months. And what happened?
Yeah, I was always curious about that, because a long time ago, I did like a really small part on a reality dating show, and I ended up twerking in my underwear, like weird shit happened. But my day job is a hairdresser. Like no one cares about that. But other people, and I do know someone. Yeah, exactly. It was beneficial for me, but I don't know in a lot of other careers. How would they think about that?
See, I don't know. I'd be like, you know what? I can trust that she's a good time. I can trust that. It shows confidence. It shows putting yourself out there, like stepping outside the box.
I think when you're client facing, that's the weird thing. I remember being on a meeting with a really high profile company client that I was trying to close for this event. And it was like the CMO that I was talking to on the meeting. There was like 2 or 3 other girls off camera. And I guess they were giggling. I could kind of hear them giggling. And it's like this very like professional proposal that I'm pitching to. And finally the CMO was like, I'm sorry. She's like, my colleagues are off camera chuckling because you were on some show called Love Island. And I'm like, almost. Yeah. Kind of weird. I was like, that was a long time ago. Like, let's focus on the proposal. But yeah, if I wasn't ever in a client facing role, I wouldn't give a shit, to be honest. But you're just kind of like, did they see the whole the lake day scene, or did they not?
But you know what though, I think you're like, one thing that I just loved about you, and I was like, she's my kind of girl when I was watching it, is like the way that you carried yourself through everything, especially that one conversation. I was like, if anything, you showed like nobody's getting anything past me. I am the biggest boss bitch in the room.
You would handle business on there.
Yeah. You were running a Fortune 500 having that conversation. Like, and I was like, the class, everything. I was like, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. So no, if anything, they were probably like, I need to be her. I need to be her.
Yes.
Yeah. For the most part, it was positive for sure. It was hard for me to hold back because this was not my first rodeo dealing with fuckboys and dealing with liars. So I was like, all right, Laura, rein it in. Together. But,
so how has your life really changed post show? What have you been doing? I mean, like, I've been following you like a little creeper, watching some cool renovations. Like, share it with us.
You guys, I have been doing the most. I think the biggest part of just how it's changed is I've always posted a lot online. I've always overshared. It's just in my nature. And now there's just more people watching. But Honestly, I love it. It sounds so corny, but I love it. So just having this whole like new, I think I have like 97% female followers and I love it. I'm like,
That's
get the
amazing.
Mm.
guys. I'm like,
Yes.
there's nothing here for you. Okay. Like don't come creeping over here. I'm like girls only.
Yes.
But well, I guess career wise, I've just as a person evolved and gone through a bunch of changes. I moved to Charlotte. I lived in Atlanta for a very long time, and then I moved to Charlotte right before casting. And so it's just kind of been this whole whirlwind. But I decided to leave my job a few months ago after much back and forth of going back into the office in Atlanta, which I mean, I just couldn't do it. It's just not for me. Design's always been my thing. It's always been a hobby. It's just something I've always done. Everyone's known for me to do. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. 2026 seems like the year to just take a leap, take a risk, and do what you love. Otherwise, the rest of my life, I could potentially, working for somebody else. And if I fail, I fail. I'll go find another 9-to-5 job. But I'm like, I don't know, trying to just take a leap.
And you know what? I think it's important to take those leaps because especially when you have that mindset where you're just like, well, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. To me, that's when I feel like it's going to work the best because you're just like, you know what? I got this. If it doesn't work, whatever. But I think that's great. So explain to us exactly what you're doing. Are you like running your own?
So I started my own business, which I'll be kind of officially launching hopefully midway through this year, but residential interior decorating. So we'll see what that looks like. I have a few Airbnb projects that are coming up, so I may go and, add some different projects. But right now it's all things residential. I have a couple friends that are building their houses, and so I'm helping with picking the tiles and all that. And then a lot of my other fun projects are installing wallpaper and painting and doing virtual designs and bringing that virtual design to life. So a lot going on for sure.
That's so fun. You're gonna crush that just given by your background right here. Like, yes, you're set up for this.
I'm not allowed wallpaper. Yes.
But
it's always such an amazing feeling when you can lean into the creative brain. Because a lot of times we have to like do the 9-to-5 jobs. We have to be serious in all these things. But a lot of times we are creative on the inside. And it's so nice to be able to turn that into a career.
Yeah. It's funny because I actually went to college originally for interior design because in high school, I was constantly redecorating my room, which I feel like every high school girl is. But I was so obsessed with it and I did a decent job of it that my friend's parents started giving me money. It would be like giving me my little projects to do their kids' rooms because they didn't want to deal with it.
Cool.
And so after a couple summers of that, I was like, wait, you can actually like make money and do this.
Wait, this is a thing, guys. Yeah.
I was like, what? So when I was applying for colleges, I went to school for interior design, and then like a year into it, I had a sales role, and I was just crushing it in sales. And I was like, wait, fuck this, I'm going to go into sales. I was like, I can do so much better at that. And anyways, here I am years later, coming back to my roots.
I love it. We love a full circle moment here. We love that.
One of the biggest scenes that you were known for on the show was when you just, like we were saying earlier, just really just handled business when it came to the conversation with Jeremiah, right?
Jeremiah, we can't even remember his name.
Whatever.
That guy.
We can just cut that. Yeah, whatever his name is. And so do you have any advice for other women for like how to stand your ground and how to like just fully have that self-worth when it comes to dating?
Oh my God. So much advice. We could be here all day, my friend. I mean, first and foremost, I think, let's take it back a little bit. Back in the day when I was much younger, before I was in therapy, before I, did all my own self-development, I would fly off the handle like most women do or most people do. I had my little toxic crazy streak, but probably in my early 20s, I just did the kind of self-reflection, be like, who is this serving? What is me blowing this person's phone up, trying to get some answers, trying to figure out why they cheated me, this, that, and the other. It just wasn't serving me. And then I had some other relationships. I went through therapy to kind of figure out which role am I playing in these relationships not working out. Let's do some deep dive. And I think every person, when they are looking for love or entering into a relationship, they have to know their self-worth, have a very high level of self-respect, and truly love themselves. I feel like there's so many, unfortunately, deep-rooted insecurities that come to the surface in relationships, especially when it comes down to disrespect or someone acting out or someone not giving you the communication or the time or the attention you need. And people, they accept things that they shouldn't because they like weren't fully whole. Let's get a little deep.
Yeah, no, we love it. No, no, no.
Yeah.
I really feel that way. Like, it's so many of my friends that are dating and that are I'm like, oh, they're a boss bitch. They're great. Like, they know who they are. And then they just accept the bare fucking minimum from these men. And I will never understand it. It's because their own self-worth isn't where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I feel like that I can relate with that. I feel like at one point in my life, I was accepting just bare minimum. I mean, like the barest of minimum. And then when I met my husband, my standards were set so high that I was like, if you even just, you're not meeting it just like even by a titch, you're not getting in. But I think that comes with a lot of self-work, self-recognition, acknowledging like what am I bringing to the relationship? What role am I playing? Like, I think that's really key, is to really define like what role you want to play in a relationship as well, because I feel like we're always looking for like that type of partner and what type of partner that we want, but it needs to be set up as like a dynamic that suits who you want to be.
Exactly. And people are like, I can't tell you how many times, thousands of DMs or people come up to me in real life and they ask, how is it so easy for you to stand up for yourself? And at one point it wasn't. Again, many years ago, before I was a different, younger, just not as self-assured version of myself. But now I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table. I know what type of respect I deserve. I know what type of respect I give. And that's it. If you're not meeting that, baby, we're not going to do this back and forth. There's no reason.
Yeah, there's nothing here for us. And
I'm not going to do this round and round.
And see, I feel like I really, like when you said just fly off the handle, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, there's days with the kids and all of that when like I'm so overstimulated and I'm just like, and I go off. But I feel like that's something that I've really had to work at myself, and just like containing my emotions and trying to sit with my emotions first to understand them, because sometimes they're so heavy and I feel so largely that any little thing, it freaks me out and I just go off. But I feel like I've had to really learn how to like contain that a little bit. And since doing that, I feel like I am more planned out in what I want to say, and I get the results that I want versus just chasing and chasing and chasing. So I appreciate that.
That's a really good point. And I was just having a conversation with one of my girlfriends that was on the show the other day. She's still in the headspace of just popping off, screaming and yelling, texts that are this long, novels that you can just scroll for days. I'm like, baby, you're not getting your point across. You're being annoying. There's no way. Silence speaks so much louder than words. And taking the time to sit before you pop off and crafting the most beautiful cunty message in the world. Like, there's just a lot said about that.
Yes, because that's what inspired me the most about your story on there, was just how direct you were and how unafraid to have the uncomfortable conversations. Because I can kind of try to roundabout around it and expect them to kind of read my mind and then be upset about it, but you were just direct and like not scared to have the uncomfortable conversation.
And I mean this in like from a place of love, but isn't it sad that we as women see you setting that bar, and like that to us is just, for a lot of women, just like so unimaginable. Like, how did she do that? And it's like, no, this is how we all need to be, you know? So what advice would you have for women that are coming onto the show, who are putting themselves out there, who think that he's 100% going to be there because they did all that those little testings? What is your advice, and like how to stay true to yourself on the pods?
That's a great question. I feel like we could be here all day because I have so much. I wish there was so much advice that I even could have given myself before the pods. as long as future cast members are going in, I think really just for the experience, knowing who they are, knowing that they are ready.
Yeah.
That's another big thing. If women or the guys, which I'm going to call the guys out because I feel like 5% of them are actually looking for a wife or actually ready for a marriage. I will give a lot of the women from previous seasons a lot of credit, especially mine, where they were ready. You know, had they had better suitors on the other side, there would have been way more marriages. But as long as future cast members or potential cast members are coming in knowing I'm whole, I've done the work on myself to know I'm ready to enter a relationship, I'm strong enough to take whatever negativity is going to come, it will come in a shape or form you will never expect it, no matter what. It'll probably come and go, but you have to be strong enough for that. I can't tell you how many cast members I've talked to from my season or other seasons, and they're just, their lives are ruined. They're just, their self-esteem is just obliterated from doing this. It's like, well, you didn't come in, you need to be very self-assured. You need to carry a certain level of confidence. And just kind of go along with the ride, because you lose all control. Trust and believe, I'm such a control freak, and you have control over nothing. You have no control over obviously what's going to happen, but how it's edited, how the viewers perceive you or perceive situations. So it's an experience for sure. I don't regret it in the slightest. I would recommend others to do it if they ever got the chance. But I think going in maybe as Delulu as I did, to where I was like, my husband's here no matter what, this has to be it, this is going to be it. I was maybe kind of clinging on to things that I didn't need to, cling on to.
So what would be one piece of advice that if you could go back and give yourself before going in, what would you say? What would you say to her?
I would say lighten up, sis. The cameras are not that You guys, I hated being on camera. Again, I am photogenic from this angle. I can talk to you guys like this from now on.
Yes.
I'm sure that's Delulu, like we all are. But once I was comfortable in the pods in the lounge, and then once we got out, I feel like my demeanor came across almost cold, which don't get me wrong, when it's warranted, I can be a cold bitch. But I was just uncomfortable, and I needed to lighten up and realize it doesn't just be and say and do the things and just show your personality, which I didn't, because I was very uncomfortable in front of the cameras.
Yeah.
Was there any moments on the show that never really aired that were like kind of juicy that?
Yeah, I get so many. I mean, my fiance met my friends, and there was so much foreshadowing in that I did not see in the moment, because I was so happy, and we did get along really well. They didn't show like any of that, but that was very juicy. I also had a couple breakups. They also didn't show any of the guys that I dated. I mean, I dated a bunch of other people up until the last day, just like everybody else. I had a pretty explosive breakup with that. I forget his name. But he got he had a girlfriend the whole time, and he got kind of anyway, there was some juicy moments with that. Yeah, there was all types of things that you're like, wait, why did this get cut out? But they only have so much time.
See, I want more juice. I want, you know what I mean? Like sometimes I'm just like, just show us a little bit. Just a little.
I always say they should do like a spin-off YouTube series or something where there's so much time in the pods in the lounge. That's just funny. You just turn into, you have nothing else to do. There's no TV, there's no internet, there's no radio, there's no nothing. There's no human interaction outside of these girls and the voices in the pods all day that you get super duper comfortable. So there's some funny shit that goes on with that.
Speaking of girls, I feel like when the girls come out, right, when the show's over, the ones that got along on the show are forming the best friendships. I've seen it online. I think that that's better than getting a husband. Like if I could get like one good girlfriend or a couple and like have a little squad, and we're meeting up with like the other season squad, I'm like, this is better than the husband aspect.
Yeah. I could not agree more. I mean, I would almost tell people, I'm not going to tell them to go on the show to get some girlfriends, but if you want to trauma bond with people, that is a good way to do it. And now I don't even think my friends that are from the show, I mean, I talk to them every day. We see each other all the time. I don't even think of them as being from the show because they're so integrated into my other friend groups in my lives. But yeah, that's the best part, the best outcome for sure.
I think they need to do more reality shows just for friendship. Like just going on, forget the love. We just want to find best friends. Like I think we're actually on to something
I think so
right
too,
now.
actually.
Find my bestie.
Seriously, I'm down for it.
So we let our girls know that you were coming on, and they were very excited. So we put it out there that they could ask some dating questions. Now we have a couple that we'd like to ask you, and we just need your insights because you are just like, you're giving mother. Like we love it. So let's answer some dating questions. We need some advice.
Okay, so I'll start with the first one. I've been dating this guy for 4 months and he still hasn't introduced me to a single friend. Should I be concerned?
Yes, 1000% yes. I have questions though. What type of dating is it? Are they just casually? Is she dating other people? Is he dating other people? Or are they exclusively dating each other? If it's just fun and, just hanging out, then whatever. But it sounds like she's probably dating with intention.
Mhm.
And yes, it's red flag. One, does he not have any friends? Holy shit.
Oh.
I dated someone like that before. Red flag number one.
Mhm.
Number two, is he keeping you a secret?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Red flag.
See, that's my thing, is that if he doesn't have a friend, I think that shows so much. One, lack of commitment. I do feel like that shows. Two, why don't people like you? Like, how do you just not have friends? Like, and I do.
It's almost also like a lack of effort.
Mhm.
I can't say how many guys I've dated, and I get having like a small circle, but they had maybe one or two best friends that didn't live close by, and they maybe had other friends, but they all just fell off because they don't keep in touch with each other. Obviously, guys aren't going to put as much into their friendships, most guys, as females do for the most part, I would assume. But I feel like the ones who do, maybe I'm saying this because my boyfriend has a ton of friends from high school, college. He sees them all the time. He still kind of maintains that group of friends, which is good. But it's because he puts the effort into it. And he also puts the effort into our relationship and other things that he does. Is where I feel like most men are so damn lazy. They're like, oh, I can't text Paul to coordinate a dinner, a night out. And so they just end up with no friend.
They have online friends. That's it. They only have online friends.
I like to think of like a 3-month rule. Like I think at 3 months, we got to evaluate everything.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And
I think that's fair. Are you talking like DTR?
Well, I just
3 months?
mean like at 3 months, like that's the time to like kind of meet a friend or like take the relationship to the next level. Decide like if this isn't going to work, let's cut it right here. Let's cut our losses. We don't need to go in to like 4 or 5, 6 months, or if it's not going to work anyways.
See, I agree. I wish I had that mindset because like I was in situations that were so long and I should have just been like, okay, maybe not. But I mean, I would hold out for a hero. Like I was like, we can do this. But I think that's smart. And I think especially if it's, depending on what your intention is, I think it's good to evaluate. And yes, I think that they should want to show you off and want to start to integrate because after 3 months if this is going to be something or not. Like 3 months is a really long time when you think about choosing someone or liking someone. Like it shouldn't take that long to decide, not marriage, but whether or not you could see something with this.
Agreed. There's also a level of data collection that you got to think about it too. It's like, have you collected enough data from this relationship to where you can just kind of move on to the next? Do you even want to move on, or are you holding out for their potential? Are you dating them for when they do this or if they do this? And so, it kind of depends on different factors, but I agree with that.
Yes, we need to stop dating potential. That's in my head. I'm like, we could be so great. I would romanticize it all, and I would like see these little potential. It's not. If they're not showing it to you, it's not.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I feel so passionately about that subject. I feel so strongly about this that people date for potential. And I think if there's a but, if you're telling someone, oh yeah, I'm dating so and so and he's so great, but his communication isn't great, but he has a drinking problem, but he's out with his friends all the time, but he doesn't text me back, but he's super messy, but da 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 da. If there's a but, I don't think you're compatible. I don't think it's the right fit. I'm sure some scenarios somewhere can prove me wrong, but I think you get people, women specifically, get so tied to the potential. But he's broke, but he's not going to be. But and it's like no. It's like at this point in time, are you guys compatible? Are they giving you what you need? Do you even know your non-negotiables? Yeah, like are you guys connecting on a foundation level? That if there's a but,
it's not. Speaking of non-negotiables, how would you set your non-negotiables? Like, how does somebody do that within themselves?
That's a really good question. I would say dating, collecting data, every single relationship, people who don't date enough concern me when they get in a relationship. I have a couple friends that haven't had a boyfriend in like 8 or 10 years. They're starting to date. They aren't sure of what their non-negotiables are. So they're giving more time into things that I don't think they should be or they want to. What I thought I wanted or what my non-negotiables were at 24, I was in a really serious relationship from 24 to 27, thought I was going to marry the guy, was not my guy. Obviously, to fast forward to 36, what my non-negotiables are now are so different, but it's because I dated. I learned about myself. I learned about men, all different shapes and sizes they come in with all their bullshit. And I figured out, oh, I thought this held so much more weight 10 years ago. Now that I've had that, I realize I actually don't give a shit about that. This is actually much more important to me. So I would say, yeah, you have to date and you have to do the work on yourself and, figure out what do you bring to the table? What do you want? Do you want an equal? Do you want someone that's, contributing just as much as you, or do you want, someone to take care of you, or nobody wants to carry somebody. Let's be real. So yeah, I don't know. I have a silly non-negotiable, like motorcycles. I will not date someone who has a motorcycle. I just know too many people who've lost their life. So I don't know why I'm laughing. It's not funny.
No, but
yeah, I remember going on a date with a guy from Hinge, and we discussed that the first. He's like, "Oh, I have a motorcycle." I was like, "Never see you again." Slid my cash on the bar. Like,
peace out. Yeah, but you know what? That's so funny because every once in a while, Michael will be like, my husband, sorry, he'll be like, he'll do it just to get a rile of me, and I'll be like, "I will leave you." And my little boys, they're like, when I grow up, they do it to get a rise. They're like, "I want to get a motorcycle." I'm like, even if I'm dead, I will haunt you. You will never have a motorcycle. I will ruin it. Motorcycles are a no for you. Absolutely not. So I get you. I get
that too.
Yes.
For the same reason, just trauma's there. I can't handle that.
Although I did go on one. His name was Mike on the bike, and I was 18, and he had one of those cool motorcycles. And my mom found out, and let me tell you, that was
I thought she was such a bitch. You're like, "Mom, you're ruining my."
Yeah, me and Mike and the bike can be something. No, so bad. Okay. We're exclusive, but he still follows and likes his ex's thirst traps. Is that a red flag, or is that just my insecurities?
They're exclusive, but he likes and he follows his ex or his ex's sister.
His ex. So he follows his ex and likes her thirst traps.
Yeah, that's a no. That's a red flag.
Yeah,
these poor girls. What are they? No.
I know.
Even if it ends amicably and there's no drama, maybe you still follow each other. I've done that in the past, but you're not interacting, especially when you're in a relationship.
No. So that's my thing, is that that would be something that if that was happening, that would be a set off for me. That'd be a trigger. If I saw that and I was like, "You're liking her photos," I'd be like, "Well, just go home then. Like, go back to her then if that's what you want."
Well, I would just be embarrassed.
Yeah.
I would just be embarrassed because she's telling her friends like, "Oh my God, he's still liking my photos."
Mm-hmm. I feel like,
how does she know? First of all, how does that girlfriend know? So that means she has I'm assuming. There's been other things that have gone down that have made he's not trustworthy to her. So she's now breaking into his phone, found his password, doing the digging. If whatever the inkling was or the behaviors that gave you the inkling to start creeping on this guy, be out.
Yes.
Be done with it.
Yes.
Mhm.
And see, you know, what's funny is that I kind of thought that too, because I was like, how does she know? So does that mean that she went through his followers, somehow maybe burner account, followed her, saw, you know what I mean? Because it's not like how it used to be when you'd get notifications of so-and-so like this image. So it's like, you're right. Like, how did she know? So there's already a set insecurity in that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is really interesting. I would be pissed.
If you're creating a burner account in a relationship, you got to get out. You need to go.
God.
You need to go. Yes.
Yes. But always have a burner account. Just
Yeah,
in
but
case.
like, yeah.
Like fixes are still a day.
Okay. He's amazing in person, but disappears for days. Do I bring it up or match his energy?
You see the butt. He's amazing in person, but he disappears for days. Nope.
Yeah.
I don't even care what the reason is. Again, there's nuances to this. So maybe they've only been dating. Actually, no, there's no excuses for it. I'm not even because if they're early on in their relationship, then disappearing for days means he's not communicating for days. So like communication is a huge non-negotiable for me, or having compatible communication styles. It doesn't sound like those people do. Or no, the butt.
Right. And especially I feel like if it's in the beginning stages, you would think that he would want to be overshowing up a little bit to like prove himself, to do all that. Like what I've really had to really learn, I've had a sad dating career or whatever. But what but what I've had to learn is that when he wants to, he will. And the ones that like really, really want you will be showing up. They won't have you questioning anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it'll just be,
Yeah.
they'll just be doing it and it's natural to them.
If he wanted to, he would.
If he wanted to, he would. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Saying the same thing.
So your dating, is that something that you would like to talk about? How did getting into a new relationship, how was that after the show? Like how did we get here?
Yeah, it has been a journey. I have collected a lot of data throughout the years. When the show premiered, it was a year after we filmed it. So I was in a different relationship. I thought that was going in a good direction. It was for a certain period of time. Honestly, the show was a good test, because had the show not come out and all the stressors and situations that pop up with it, I don't think I would have realized as soon as I did that he was not for me. So that was good. We wished him well. And then I took a break for several months and was just like, you know what? It's been a crazy couple of years between the failed engagement and then this other relationship. And so I'm just going to take a break and just do me, work on myself, focus on my career, focus on my friends, family. And I got a new dog, focused on him, and was just traveling and decided to dip my toe back in the pond. I downloaded Hinge, which, you know, we've all been on and off Hinge. It's just kind of how it goes. And I went into it with the mindset of, I just want to have fun.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I am a heterosexual female. If I could choose to be a lesbian, I would, to be frank, because men bring a lot of bullshit. But I'm attracted to men. So I was like, you know what? I got to go out there. Mama has needs, just like everybody else.
It's annoying. Yeah.
And I was just casually dating. And I was making that clear when I was talking to these people. Not that I was going out being a big old hoe, but I was going on dates. I was flirting. I was having fun. No strings attached. So I met my now boyfriend, I guess January of last year. And he was great. And we had so much fun, but he was 5 years younger than me. So he knows if I did not take him serious for a long time. I typically always dated older, but I would, hang out with younger. And so after several months of just going on dates and just being constantly disappointed by obscure ways, men just find the most ridiculous ways to disappoint you just over and over again.
It's the way they get the most creative.
Yeah. It's still surprising me after this many years, but it just wasn't fun anymore. And so I still kept in touch with my now boyfriend. We call him Cat Daddy. It's like a fun little nickname that just stuck, and that's what the internet knows him by. And the only reason that I wasn't taking him serious was because of the age difference, but he was dating intentionally. By kind of the summertime, my mindset had shifted to where I was like, you know what? I don't want to be out here in these streets. I really am looking for somebody. And I don't know, I just had like this epiphany to talk to my therapist, went international for a few weeks, and I came back and I was like, okay, you stuck around. You have everything that I want. We talked about the age difference. Now I don't even think about it. Now I'm like promoting the early 30s. He's 31, I'm 36. I'm like, everybody go find you like a 31-year-old guy. I'm like, that is where it's at. So yeah, now we're super happy. He's everything that I hadn't had in a previous relationship, but I was holding out for. It's funny, I think you just kind of have to have like your own level of delusion to where it's like, I've never had this type of healthy relationship. But I'm just going to, I'm just convinced that it exists. And it does. I'm so happy I waited it out.
Okay. So my husband is 5 years younger than me. Yes. As soon as you said that, I was like, oh my God. And we call him Chef Daddy or Chef Zaddy because he's a chef. Yes, literally. That's so funny. It. But for me, that was my biggest hesitation. I was like, well, he's 5 years younger, although he did have two small boys at the time. So, and their relationship, like there was no drama, baggage. Like it was a perfect time for him to move on. Like it wasn't, his boys were old enough. So, but seeing him mature as a almost like single dad doing all that, I was like, okay, you know what? The age thing, that's okay. And you know what? I think, I don't know if it's because like they just want to, prove themselves a little bit, that they're on it. Younger guys, sometimes I think maybe where it's at. So.
I love that. Chef Daddy and Cat Daddy.
Yeah. Oh my God, this is so fun.
I agree. I don't know what it is. I guess it's the whole maturity thing. They say, men mature like 5 or 7 years behind women. So we're like, okay, if they're already annoying as is, a more immature man is going to be even more annoying. But I dated older pretty much exclusively my whole life, and it didn't work for me at all. So I don't think about it at all now. And I can't believe I almost let it. I don't know. But what's that quote? What's meant for you will never miss you. And
yes.
What's not meant for you will never stay. Something like that. So I believe that he was meant for me and me for him. So it's like, it was always, we were going to find a way for it to work anyways, no matter what reservations I had at the beginning.
I love that. See, that makes me so happy. And I just think that it's so great. You guys are now living together.
We don't live together yet. Well, I'll move in next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, because I saw you renovating things. So in my mind, I was just like, oh my God.
No, everybody thinks, yes.
Yeah.
I'm getting it ready.
Yeah, exactly.
It was his idea. He has a 4-bedroom house right down the street. He owns it. It was completely bare bones, you guys. I mean, it is a beautiful house. And I walked in, I was like, holy shit, you have all this space. He did his best. He did his best. It's very clean, but it was just very empty. And so he would always come to my house. He's like, damn, it's cozy in here. Like, damn, you got this. And that. I'm like, yeah, babe, that's what, lamps and curtains and, throw pillows. That's what it does. Yeah. And so honestly, it was him. He was like, well, what could you do with my house? And I decorated my past couple boyfriends' house. And so I waited, because then you decorate the house exactly how you want it. And then you break up and you don't live there anymore. And then somebody else gets it. So like, wait a minute until I make sure. And then as soon as it just kind of, I knew we were meant to be, I was like, okay, babe. It's like, I can do your.
But also that's also kind of a power play though, because like those guys are living in that house and like they can't escape you. Like just
I was gonna say this is the Silver Springs.
I was just gonna say that. Yes. I was gonna say it's giving
Silver Springs.
Yes. You are Silver Springs. Like they can't get away from you.
What is Silver Springs?
The
Fleetwood Mac song.
Fleetwood Mac.
So basically,
yes.
yes. And the song's about she's like basically like they were together, and so she's like the song will haunt you to the day you die because every time you hear it or have to sing it, you're gonna know.
And now they're waking up and seeing you all over that house. New girls are coming in. You're there.
I'm not gonna lie. I've thought about that before.
Yes.
Yes.
There's a lot of pain going on. There's a lot of things going on. Like, they would have to.
They'd have to invest to change this. And you know what? They don't like to put in the effort. So
Yes.
it's all the same.
They're literally telling their girlfriends like the ghost of the previous girl is lingering.
The ghost of Laura. I love it. Oh, well, we're so happy for you. It sounds like everything is just working out. She's running businesses. She's haunting houses. She's doing it. And I love that your new man is just like, come in and start your business and just use my house. Like, that's fantastic.
He's the best.
Like,
he's the best. We just put together a lot of the furniture, and we're probably 60% done with his room. And this morning, he stayed over here last night, and then he went home this morning. He's like, babe, I just stood in my room for like 5 minutes this morning looking at it before I got ready. He's like, it's completely transformed. I'm like,
yay.
Oh.
Oh, that's so cute. Well, we're so happy for you. I think that's all the time we have for today. Any last words? Anything you want to say to our girlies who are listening? Because they love you. They're obsessed.
My gosh. I would just say, I just want all the girlies to just know their worth, take a beat, think about it, think about how you want to be loved. If you're in a situationship, if you're in an argument, if you're in a relationship, you're not sure if this is for you, take a beat, sit back and say, is this how I want to be loved for the rest of my life? And if the answer is in any way, shape, or form, no, or I'm unsure, get the out of there, and something better for you is waiting.
Okay. I wish I had that advice years ago. Where were you when I was like 20? Oh, well, thank you. That's the best advice. Everyone, we will link all of her socials, which we know you already have. But thank you so much. And we will see you guys next week.
Hey, bye.